Okay, so I think a lot of people have this exact experience, right? You're using one of the powerful AI tools. I'm talking about things like ChatGPT, and you just keep hitting a wall. The answers you get back are so incredibly generic, sort of bland,
Robotic, yeah.
totally robotic. And if that's you, you are not alone. But I have to share the tough truth here, and it's what we're digging into today. It's probably not the AI's fault.
Right.
It's your input. I think we all started this journey treating these amazing engines like they were just a smarter Google search bar.
Of course.
We asked them to write an email or, give me some ideas.
And when you give it a generic instruction, what can it do? By definition, it has to give you the most statistically safe, most generic output possible. It's just math.
Today, we are changing that math.
Yeah.
Our mission in this deep dive is to fundamentally stop treating AI like a search bar or even a simple assistant and start treating it like a high-level senior employee, an employee you trust with really complex tasks, but one who, needs crystal clear strategic guidance.
That shift in mindset is absolutely everything. When you approach these tools with the kind of rigor you'd use for delegating to a skilled human,
Yeah.
the results just leap from being mediocre.
The stuff you have to rewrite anyway.
Exactly. They go from that to being genuinely valuable, often strategic, and highly personalized. We've synthesized a ton of material on this, and it all points to a clear roadmap, what we're calling the 3-level framework. And this framework, it's designed to take you, the average user, and move you into the category of a prompt engineering pro, usually in just a few minutes of, well, restructuring your thinking.
So you can get quick, thorough knowledge.
And get complex tasks done in a way that most people just don't realize these models are even capable of.
Okay, let's unpack this core issue first. Why do these, they're sophisticated models, why do basic prompts fail so badly?
Right.
They have access to basically all of human knowledge.
Yeah.
So why do they always default to the blandest possible answer?
It comes down to their very nature. They are not databases.
They're not just looking things up.
No. And they are not mind readers. They are prediction machines. Their core function is to look at a sequence of words, your prompt, and just predict the next most probable word. So if you give them zero context, they have no strategic filter. None. They have to default to the safest, most common response.
Which means?
In practical terms, it means they default to the statistical average of the internet.
Oh, that is a terrifying thought.
It is. And let's be honest, the average of the internet is mediocrity, it's boilerplate, it's cliches.
So without us setting the bounds, the AI is just doomed to be safe and forgettable.
Precisely. It's like asking a library to write a novel, but you don't tell them the genre or the length or the audience.
Yeah.
They'll just give you the most statistically average plot possible.
So to move beyond that, we have to reduce the ambiguity.
That's the goal. And we do that, as the material shows, by stacking constraints. The more specific you get with the context, the identity, the instructions, the less the AI has to guess. And the result becomes surgical.
Let's make this real. Let's use an example that I think everyone has tried to automate and probably failed at. Writing a cover letter. A high-stakes one. So level 1 is what the framework calls the zero-shot failure. This is where, 90% of users start and stop. The prompt is super simple. Write a cover letter for a marketing manager job. That's it.
And you know the result instantly. It starts with, "Dear hiring manager."
Yeah.
Then it's, "I am writing to express my profound interest." And it's filled with words like synergy, delve, and proactive.
It hits every single dull corporate trope. It sounds exactly like a robot wrote it.
Zero personality.
Zero strategic focus. It provides zero value because you still have to spend an hour tearing it apart and rewriting the whole thing.
And this is the exact moment where people get frustrated and say, see, AI isn't useful for creative tasks, but look at the input again. If you just toss that request over a cubicle wall to a junior employee, what would you expect?
The safest, most generic thing possible.
Exactly, because they don't know the company culture, they don't know your history, they don't know anything.
So level 1 is basically treating the AI like a brand new intern. You give them a task, but no files and no direction.
An easy hurdle to clear, though.
So how do we get to level 2?
Level 2 is where we introduce strategic structure. We use what's often called the R.C.F. framework. And this moves the AI from guessing to actually applying parameters.
The R.C.F. What does that stand for?
Role, context, and format. Let's break those down. R is for role. This is where you assign an identity. Who is the AI? Is it an expert copywriter, a senior career coach?
A financial analyst.
Right. Giving it a persona immediately changes its vocabulary, its tone, its entire approach.
Hold on. So if I'm asking for financial analysis, I shouldn't just say, analyze this. I should say something like, act as a former Goldman Sachs equity analyst.
Exactly. You are stacking a constraint. Now, C is for context. What's the specific situation? What's your background? What's the goal? What are the constraints? This is the real meat of the instruction. And finally, F is for format. How should it look? Is it a bulleted list? A punchy 3-paragraph memo?
A formal email with no slang?
Yes. By applying these 3 constraints, role, context, and format, we just drastically reduce the ambiguity. And the mediocrity stops immediately.
This is that strategic shift. We're moving from just write X to act as X, given situation Y, and deliver it in style Z. So let's look at that level 2 cover letter example using the R.C.F. framework. Okay, so in the level 2 prompt, the user got really specific. For the role, they said, act as a senior career coach with 10 years of experience in tech.
Strong start.
Then for context, they added, I'm applying for a senior marketing manager role at a fast-paced AI startup. My background is in content, and I value humor and brevity.
Love it.
And finally, the format. Write a cover letter that is punchy, under 300 words, and uses bullet points for achievements.
Now, when the AI processes that request, the improvement is immediate. It's tangible. The tone shifts completely.
Right.
It respects the brevity. It might inject a little humor. And critically, it adopts the voice of that senior coach. It sounds like a human with a personality.
Not the average of a Microsoft Word template.
Exactly.
That feels like a huge win right there.
Okay.
I mean, the time savings are massive, but I know you said there's still a flaw here. What is level 2 still missing that pushes us to level 3?
The remaining flaw is substance. Even with all that great direction, the AI still doesn't know you. The prompt told the AI to use bullet points for achievements, but the user never actually provided their own achievements. So what happens? The AI has to guess. It starts inventing what we call hallucinating achievements, or data that match the style but lack the truth.
So it knows the tone, but it doesn't have my specific data.
Precisely. And that deficiency is what naturally leads us to the final pro level, level 3, where we treat the AI like a true strategic partner.
So the pro level is about bridging that gap between great style and specific substance. And our material points to 2 essential techniques for this. 1, feed the data, and 2, chain of thought. Let's start with the data part.
Feed the data is the intuitive part. Some people call it few-shot prompting. It's simple, but it's non-negotiable. If you want a strategic cover letter, you have to paste the raw materials.
My resumes.
Your entire resume and the full job description directly into the prompt. The AI is incredibly powerful, but it can't operate on your behalf without the files. To stick with the employee metaphor, level 3 means you're not just giving the intern a task. You're giving them the task and the entire shared folder they need to complete it.
Okay, providing the data makes perfect sense, but just pasting my resume in there still sounds like it might just give me a slightly better level 2 result.
This is where chain of thought comes in, right?
This is the most crucial part.
And this is what creates that truly strategic output. Absolutely. Chain of thought is the game changer because you are telling the AI how to think before it writes the final output. You are forcing the strategic analysis a human would do.
You're preventing it from rushing straight to the answer.
Yes. You force it to do the pre-work.
So we're basically imposing a strategic planning phase on the AI. It's not just a high-speed word processor anymore.
Precisely. You don't just ask for the final thing, you ask for the steps that lead to the final thing. And even if you don't care about seeing the steps, the mere act of making it list them out dramatically improves the quality.
Okay, let's walk everyone through the specific master prompt structure that comes from combining all of this, the R.C.F., the data, and the chain of thought. First, you set the stage with R.C.F. again. Act as a senior career strategist for a fast-paced tech company. My goal is to maximize my chances for an interview.
Setting the goal.
Then, you give the data preamble. I am going to provide you with my resume and the job description. Do not write the letter yet. First, execute these steps. And now for the chain of thought strategy. Step 1. Analyze the job description and extract the top 3 most critical pain points the company is trying to solve.
So it's analyzing, not writing.
Step 2. Match those 3 pain points to the most specific, quantifiable examples of success you can find in my resume.
Connecting the dots.
And step 3. Using only those 3 matched points, write a persuasive cover letter.
By doing this, you're forcing the AI to perform the competitive analysis before it even thinks about writing. The focus is no longer on just filling a template. It's on building a persuasive argument based on the company's specific problems.
And we have to remember to reapply those final constraints too. Things like tone professional, but conversational, no buzzwords, so avoid synergy or delve,
Right.
and keep it under 250 words. And only then, at the very, very end of this big prompt, do you actually paste your resume and the job description.
And that is the difference. The final output from level 3 is strategic because it actually shows you the analysis steps 1 and 2 before it writes the letter.
It shows its work.
It shows its work. It
Yeah.
literally says the top 3 pain points are X, Y, and Z. Your experience for X is found here in your resume. This moves the AI from just writing a template for you to designing a strategic argument based on your verified data. You're no longer asking it to write, you're asking it to analyze, strategize, and then execute. That is the true power here.
Wait, so the biggest takeaway isn't just that it writes a better letter, but it actually forces us to think strategically just to build the prompt.
Yes.
It guides our thinking just as much as it guides the AI's output. That's a huge insight.
It absolutely is. This is where human strategic input is still essential. You have to decide on the process. The AI just handles the flawless execution of your multi-step instructions in seconds.
This has been a true masterclass. Okay, let's quickly recap the key takeaways for anyone listening who wants to apply this today. First, never use a zero-shot prompt for an important task. If it matters, you have to add context. Second, always assign a role and format. Start your prompt with act as A and include constraints like word count.
Be specific.
And third, use chain of thought. Ask it to outline or analyze before it generates the final output. That little delay is where all the strategy happens.
And if you wrap all of that up into one simple rule, it's this. Treat the AI like a brilliant, dedicated intern.
I like that.
That intern can handle incredibly complex tasks, far beyond what a human could, but only if you give them 2 things. Clear, multi-step instructions and the right files to work with. It's a communication challenge, not a tech limitation.
That shift from treating it like a search bar to delegating to a senior employee, that's something that can genuinely save you hours of work every week. Not just for cover letters, but for market research, summarizing complex documents, anything.
And here is the final provocative thought we want to leave you with, which builds right on this. If we accept that AI excels at executing complex, multi-step instructions, what other established human processes beyond just writing should we be breaking down into step 1, step 2, and step 3 to maximize its efficiency? The goal isn't just a better letter. It's rethinking how we approach strategy, project management, and delegation itself. Think about that the next time you write a prompt.